Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better?
Justin Herbert or Phillip Rivers?
Oh man, I got the longevity. I got 24 seconds. Justin Herbert.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Freddie, did you really want to be a Dodger? Did you really want to leave the Atlanta Braves after winning a championship? No. Welcome to the show, my guy.
What's up, Fredo? How you doing, my man?
What's up, my friends, guys? Welcome to Monday Night Fredo here, live from this beautiful studio in Los Angeles, Infinity Studios, guys. We're back for another show here. Of course, in case you guys missed it, last Monday night, it was a great episode. I mean, I got a lot of great feedback. We had the one and only Arash Markazi that was here in studio. We had a lot to talk about. So if you missed it, go ahead and go back. It's also on our YouTube page right here at Infinity Studios and on Monday Night Fredo page. Check them out. You can go ahead and see the full show. He said a lot of great, interesting things that he's experienced throughout his whole lifetime that he's been a sports fan. All right. And there's been a lot of things that I experienced being a sports fan all my life. Of course, there's a moment right here. Maybe you can't see it to my right, but there is a very, very important jersey that I think is very important, Jeff Kent. But guys, we do have a very exciting show here with us. We do have a very special guest. We got someone that's been around the league for over a decade. He's worked with a lot of the great players out there. He was the former Lakers athletic trainer. Marco Nunez will be joining us shortly right now. And as well, I got another special guest who is going to join us. And everyone that's seen Monday Night Fredo know who this man is. He took some of my money, and I'm going to take some of his thoughts a little later. But I do want to talk about the Drew League. The Drew League finished this weekend, and it was a very, very good ending to it. Of course, we know hometown favorites. Shout out to hometown favorites at the Drew League. They did win the Drew League championship yesterday at El Camino College, and it was a very, very tough matchup. Because Black Ops Pearl Elite were the team challenging them yesterday. Of course, we know some of the people here at Infinity Studios was covering that very exclusively for Pearl Ops. And it just seemed to be that hometown favorites just had those NBA guys that it's just at times you just can't do nothing about it. When you got NBA stars in the other side of the court, sometimes it makes it a tough road for you. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Of course, at the same time, we have Montrezl Harrell and Frank Nitti try to fight their way through into the championship game on Saturday afternoon and got eliminated. All right. So it was just a very, very good year for the Drew League here in 2022. Of course, the biggest thing that happened in their summer was a new contract with the NBA. I was able to watch the championship game on the NBA app. So everyone, right now, you can go watch all the archives on the NBA app, watch LeBron James' full game at the Drew League. If you missed it, go watch it. So there's a lot of there's a lot of great things to go ahead and watch on that NBA app. But yeah, Drew League, very impressive. Another thing that was very impressive is the NFL is already here. I was at SoFi Stadium Saturday night, taking plays with the Cowboys and the Chargers. A very, very good game, but one thing I can say right now about football before we do bring on the great Marco Nunez and our other special guest who's hanging tight right now is the Chargers have a problem. It is not a very important problem. It's something that they can just kind of work through right now during training camp and preseason is certain injuries. Of course, we know that players get hurt, but there is one certain individual in Isaiah Spiller, running back for the Chargers, number 28 rookie, out of Texas A&M. He did get hurt. He twisted his ankle on Saturday night. He is expected to miss a few weeks. A few weeks is crucial for the Chargers when they are seeking a second running back to go ahead and go behind Austin Eckler. So when you see a guy like Isaiah Spiller who got the size, got the speed, certainly got the momentum from the coaching staff who are very excited for Isaiah Spiller. And this is my guy. I was earlier this past week, Shout out to Arash Markazi. Everyone can check him out Monday through Friday on 1090 ESPN. I was on his show on Wednesday, and he asked me a question. He's like, Fredo, give the people out here, give the people one person, one Charger player who you think is going to make an impact this year. And as a rookie, Isaiah Spiller. And as soon as I say that, he gets hurt. I don't like that. But I know I'm going to go ahead and talk about certain injuries that have happened around the sports world with Marco Nunez when we do return. But before we go into a commercial break, I want to introduce you guys to this man. This man took some of my money. He's going to take some more money in the future, but who knows? He might not, because I might take his money now. We got the one and only Money Mike from the Profanity Nation podcast. Money Mike, how you doing?
Man, I'm good. You ain't never going to take my money, man. You don't know the right bets to make.
You never know, because I literally just saw you in studio like 30, 40 minutes ago. You ran away from me. So maybe you went to the bank. Maybe you want to go get some money. But you're live here with us. We are just moments away from having the great Marco Nunez joining us here on Monday Night Fredo. But I do want to get your thought before we bring on Marco. Money Mike, what do you think about LeBron James? $97.1 million coming to his bank. What do you have to say, hater?
Man, no, I'm the first one. I'm not hating.
Jeff, play that sound back.
I have always had constructive criticism about LeBron. What I say,
I ain't hating.
It's been proven. It's been proven. What I say about him is true. That's why I don't know why they call me the hater.
Hater.
Last year. I don't know if you saw the stat that 91% of his points were during garbage time. So So I mean, these are all facts that I'm out there relaying. This guy is taking $97 million over the next 2 years, about almost 145 between this year and the next 3. Look, I require championship. Mm-hmm. I require, at least at minimum 2 out of 3 for what he's been paid. People do the comparison like, hey, we gave Kobe all that money and at the end of his career, but Kobe put his life to the Lakers. You know what I mean? So he deserved it. LeBron has not done that for me at all. So look, this guy needs to go out there and win a championship.
Okay.
And that's on that, and championship or bust. And if he's not going to do it, if he's going to go out there, if he's trying to high five all the other, his friends and try to play for them.
I ain't hating.
You need to put the team on. You need to put the team on back every night.
All right. So look. I want you to hang tight real quick, because I know you might have some more interesting things to say, and I don't want to take much of your time. But we are going to go into a very quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have the one and only Marco Nunez here on Monday Night Fredo.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
And we're back here on Monday Night Fredo, live from Los Angeles at the Infinity Studios. And like I mentioned, we got a very special guest here with us. We got the former Laker head athletic trainer, the one and only Marco Nunez. Marco, welcome to Monday Night Fredo. How you doing?
Doing well, Fredo. How you doing? What's up, Money Mike?
What's going on, Marco? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
That's great, Mr. Marco Nunez. So, Marco, real quick, I want to let the people out there know real quick. I want them to get a chance to know you and follow you. Where can they follow you on social media? Because a lot of times people miss this part here. Go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, if you guys have any questions regarding sports medicine injuries, recovery, nutrition, anything like that sort, please feel free to follow me on Instagram at Marco A. Nunez 17, or please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Evolve Athletic Performance.
There it is, guys. You guys all heard it there. So make sure you subscribe to Marco Nunez, because we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about basketball. But of course, we like to talk about the injuries, because that's one thing that really gets people upset. It's very disappointing when you see a great player out there that just gets hurt all the time and he's just not able to be out on the court. But I do want to start off with one individual that's, about to get into that age limit, who's still pushing his body to the limit, which is LeBron James. Right now, LeBron James, he went through a few difficult injuries, and I believe it was your last season with the Lakers when he got his injury with his quad, I believe it was. And after that, he kind of lost a step. What do you think that was, Marco?
Well, I mean, age definitely does play a factor into it. The older you get, your body kind of tends to wear down more frequently or easily, so to speak, type of thing. But the one thing you've got to give credit to LeBron, he's been one of the big proponents as far as maintaining his body, doing a lot of recovery, and understanding his body. And athletes that understand that early on have more longevity. Take example, what's his name, Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher, I remember when he was there, he was the first one in the training room, not in a negative way to get treatment, but more to get maintenance. And he was always the last one to leave. He knew he had to come in there. He knew he had to do the cold tub. He knew he had to do recovery. And he lasted, for a long period of time. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. So all the athletes that understand that early on, there was a young athlete that I'm not going to call him out, but I remember I tried to talk to him 3 years into his season. He came up to me, he's like, Marco, I've only been playing for 3 years already, and I feel like I've been playing for 10 years already. Like I should have already started early on, type of thing. So, going from high school to college and then we're playing with NBA players or NFL athletes or professional athletes, it's a whole type of different atmosphere than playing in the college ball. So the earlier you understand it. And, when I work with high school athletes, I try to preach to them, hey, you're in high school. I get at this stage, you feel you can get out of bed and go play ball, but you got to start maintaining your body early on with all that stability type of thing.
So that's very, very important for some of the things that you're seeing here. What's one of the most things that for that talent that's coming in from high school? Because when certain people go from high school senior year, freshman at college, then then it's the first year in the NBA in the 3-year span. What's that part that you got to let players know, like, hey, you got to take care of your body. You got to work out, do certain workouts. What's one of the most important things that you want to tell a young athlete out there and how to take care of their body heading into, the professional world?
Yeah. So I get this question asked a lot of times as far as, hey, even high school athletes, young athletes, what's, they see LeBron with like normal units with hypervolts, cold tubs, cryo chambers, the hyperbaric chambers. To see all these professional athletes with all these type of little gadgets, vitamins, pills, shakes, you name it, all that stuff, and they all want to kind of emulate them because they get that part. But the one thing I tell everybody, as far as when it comes to recovery and taking care of your body, the number one thing you can do, more importantly, and I tell them this is absolutely free, is actually sleep. You got to get your 6 to 8 hours of sleep. There's been plenty of studies that's been done that athletes that get a good amount of sleep actually reduce the risk of injuries. Not only reduce the risk of injuries, but actually increase their performance. They did a whole study on baseball hitters on reaction time. And you had a better reaction time if you got your 8 hours of sleep versus if you didn't. So if you're a baseball hitter, you're trying to hit that curveball, be able to react to a pass, be able to react to an opponent. Sleep is the most important thing you can do because that's when your body starts repairing itself. And I get it. As a teenager, as a young kid, you think you can stay up to 2 a.m., whether you're playing PUBG, you're playing any type of game, and then wake up, sleep for 4 hours, get up at 6 in the morning, you're ready to roll, and you feel energized, but your body starts wearing down. So as a young kid, don't spend any money on anything else. You got to get your sleep.
There it is. You guys heard that. Any kids out there, make sure you get some sleep. And hopefully, does that work for the older people as well, or just the young guys?
It works for everybody.
I hope, man, because lately I've been trying to play some basketball out there with my son because my son's 11 years old and he's getting to that age where he's playing basketball every single day. Yep. And the other day I told him, I'm like, hey man, I need about 20 minutes to stretch. I'm like, I don't play often. I just got to stretch. He said, why is it going to take you so long? I'm like, man, I got to stretch. No, yep. It's tell the people how important it is for people to actually stretch before you actually do any exercising like that.
Correct. So the older you get, what you want to focus on is what's called mobility in the joints and the movements and flexibility type thing. Now, I also get the same questions. Hey, should I be able to do that? Your typical stretch where you lay on the floor, you're stretching your hamstrings and whatnot. The best thing to do before an activity, no matter what age you are, whatever age you're at, is called a dynamic warm up, where you're stretching and you're moving because you're trying to get blood flowing to those muscles, type of thing. After you're done working out, that's when you want to do what's called a static stretch. That's when you do the traditional, when you lay on the floor, you stretch your hamstrings, you stretch your quads, you stretch your piriformis, all the muscles. But prior to activity, you want to get up, you want to move, and you want to go ahead and do kind of get that blood flowing. So it's very important. You want to maintain what's called mobility, stability, and flexibility. More importantly.
That's great. That's great. Again, we got the one and only Marco Nunez here joining us as well. We got Money Mike, who keeps playing peekaboo with us. Money Mike, how you doing over there, Money?
Man, I'm all right, man. Internet glitched a little bit. You know how it is. But I'm here.
There it is.
Hey, so Marco, we talk about LeBron, right? So LeBron last season said, and I quote, I'll never be 100%, right? When he came back from an injury, he said he'll never be 100%. Now he's had this offseason, and I guess he forgot that because now he's saying that he's 100%. And so my question is, obviously, because he's had the offseason away, maybe you think he's actually have gotten better than that, never been 100% because he's had time to rest his body through because the season was over and have more time to recover?
Yeah, so I think when you're talking about 100%, I'm not really focused on the rest part. Yes, granted, it's good that he's probably got some rest, but more importantly, just like LeBron James, and more importantly also like AD, is not only getting the rest, but addressing those issues that they've been experiencing that's been leading to like these small nagging injuries, so some of these soft tissue injuries. So the off season is where you want to kind of identify where are the muscular weaknesses, where are the discrepancies, and that's where you want to address these issues going into the season. Hopefully you have had enough time to be able to address them, prevent them, and then kind of maintain them during the season. So it's not necessarily just a rest, because you can go ahead and just rest, but if you don't address those issues, then they're going to creep up on you no matter what, even during the season.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hijack your show, but
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So AD, they said that he hadn't picked up the basketball. Mm-hmm. Everybody was up in hoopla and all that stuff about that. And actually, I was kind of excited that he hadn't picked up the basketball because I know he had to know how to play basketball. And I saw the meme that you sent me with him with the airbags. I wish that could be real. So if his strength is conditioning, is that a good thing that he hadn't really picked up a basketball and hopefully he was doing strength and conditioning to managing those issues?
Correct, and that's what I was referring to. It's not always about playing basketball during the off season. Granted, these are professional athletes. The odds of them forgetting how to shoot a basketball during the off season are going to be very minimal. Just like a football player, the odds of him forgetting how to tackle during the off season, it's not going to happen. Even then, it may take a couple of weeks or like that, or a couple of days and be ready to roll. But yeah, more importantly, that's where you want during the off season is when you want to identify the issues that kind of layered or created during the season and address them, correct them, and more importantly, try to prevent them from recurring for the upcoming season. So whoever he's working with, that should have been the focus, and I'm sure that's been the focus for them. And hopefully, they were able to identify them and address them. So when the season comes around, these issues don't linger on again. Now, as September rolls around, usually after Labor Day weekend, that's usually when the players start arriving. That's when they start playing the pick-up-ball games. That's when they start shooting, so they have a full month to try to get back in shape. But the months before, that's when you want to do the strength and conditioning, the prevention, all that stuff that you want to address.
So what should we go ahead?
Go ahead, Money.
So what really should I be looking for? Like and I'm talking about the eye test. Like if I see AD walk in, shouldn't I see like a visible difference in because he's always had trouble with his lower extremities and stuff like that. So hopefully if he worked on that, then we should see a whole lot of definition in his legs and things like that, or core foundationally, right? Just like what's that eye test to look like? Okay, looks like he's been working on some stuff.
Correct. So, obviously, from what I recall, he had a lot of like I mentioned, lower extremity issues. He had the Achilles tendonitis, had the patella tendonitis. So all those issues kind of begin at what refer to the pelvis or the hip, strengthening the glute max and the glute medius, the core stability, the soleus muscles down in the calf type of thing. So you want to kind of focus in those areas. So yeah, if he walks in and he's got a huge chest, great biceps and stuff like that, I was like, he probably focuses more on the upper body than the lower body, which, you know, in basketball and in most sports, it's all about lower body as far as movement type of thing, especially with the AD type of thing. So that's what should have been kind of more of his focus: the core stability, the pelvis, the glute max, the glute med, all the knee stability issues that he's had. Not only that, but just kind of like Frio touched upon it, also some of the mobility issues in the ankle and in the hips as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's for some of those guys. But again, Marco, what's it going to take? Like, I know you mentioned that sleep is very important, especially so we can go ahead and not look at any extra injuries. What kind of sleeping pills can I get to ship them over to the Laker training facility for them to get enough sleep? Because we're tired of them getting hurt every single year.
Correct.
How can we stop that?
Well, that's a problem. That's always been like, I would refer to as a two-edged sword type of thing. The traveling, I know the NBA has tried to minimize some of the traveling, but it's also kind of tough, especially when you're on the road back to back. And keep in mind, you know, there was a little bit of a running joke when I was there that oftentimes there was a city that we would leave and we'd get to the next city, and the morning newspaper was already at the hotel door. That tells you what time we got into the hotel. When you walk into the hotel and the morning newspaper for that day is already at your front door. That means you got in like about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You only got about 3 hours sleep. Then you had to wake up, do morning shoot around, and ready to roll. So it's always been tough, and you're always playing a little bit of a catch-up game, especially when you're on the road. It's always been tough. When you're at home, it's a little easier because you get to go to sleep on your own time. You have a little more control. But it's during the season, it's tough to realistically control the sleep or maintain it.
No, yeah, it should be pretty difficult. Again, guys, we got the one and only Marco Nunez here as well. Money Mike from the Profanity Nation podcast. Marco, real quick, let's rewind a little bit and how you got involved into being part of the, this whole athletic world, because a lot of people kind of, say, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. How do you get involved in this, and what made you get involved in this type of world? In the sports world?
I initially went to Cal Poly Pomona College for civil engineering. I did it for about 2 years. Did not like it. I kind of didn't see myself doing this. It just happened to be that I was at a student kind of leadership conference, and the keynote speaker was the head athletic trainer for Cal Poly Pomona. I went up to speak. I had a chance to speak with him afterwards, and that kind of triggered something. I switched over to pre-med. That's what I always wanted to do, pre-med. I originally wanted to go into orthopedic surgery type of thing. But then seeing the athletic trainers and them working specifically with the athletes close and interacting with them and kind of being around, that's kind of what kind of triggered it. And hey, this is what I want to do. I've always been a type A personality person that if you tell me I can't do it or it's difficult to do it, I'm going to try to prove you wrong. And when I was a student, the senior student athletic trainers were always like, hey, everybody tries to get to the professional level. It's almost impossible to get there because there's a limited amount of jobs. My mind's like, all right, if that's what I can't do, well, I'm going to do it. So I worked my way up the ranks, and I don't know if we have time or not. A little funny story is I started with the LA Avengers. I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I'm aging myself. And if you guys remember the LA Avengers, arena football team, long time ago. That was kind of my first foot in the door, so to speak, with professional sports. I had contacted the head athletic trainer, and he had mentioned that they already had some interns. I was trying to intern with them, so. He's like, hey, we can't take anybody anymore, blah, 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 so forth. So I kind of hung up, waited a week. I kind of called him again, tried to try a different angle. Hey, can I just come in? I watched through the whirlpools. I just make your tapes. Again, he gave me the runaround. Like, sorry, we're already full. We can't do it anymore. Boom, hung up. And a week later, I tried a different angle, called him again. And I don't know if my perseverance or I bugged him enough that he's like, hey, come on in. Finally, I went in. And that's kind of like, as I say, that became history in the part. And that's how I started my career in professional sports. I went from the LA Avengers, then to Carolina Cobras in North Carolina, came back, worked for the LA Sparks for about 4 years, then got hired with the LA Defenders. They were called the LA Defenders back then before the South Bay Lakers. That's where I got to meet Gary Vitti and the Lakers training staff. Eventually, there was a position opened up with the LA Lakers, went up there as the assistant trainer, and then eventually became the head athletic trainer for them.
And what year was that? Because I knew you spent for almost a decade with the Lakers, right?
12 years. Yeah, so I started with them in 2008.
2008. Mm-hmm.
And
you started, what was your first opening? What was your first job right there with them in 2008?
One of the reasons they hired me, I was my official title with the Lakers was the assistant athletic trainer and assistant strength and conditioning coach. We had Gary as a head athletic trainer. We had Chip Schaefer as a strength coach. We had Alex McKegney as a rehab specialist, and we had Marco Giovodi as a massage therapist. one of the things I had, I was, as they say, a jack of all trades. I was able to do strength conditioning. I was able to do rehab. I was able to do massage therapy. So I became like an assistant to everybody. I was even also / assistant equipment manager, which I helped out Rudy at the same time. So I was just kind of went everywhere where I was needed with the Lakers.
Right, that's amazing. Money Mike, I know you want to say something to Mr. Marco Nunez.
No, you know what though? I actually didn't know his whole his start to the end with that. So it's really actually really interesting. And I love the persistence that you have because that's something that you definitely need. So getting this new season, man, I just hope that let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So I was watching the Hard Knocks, and they was over there sitting in the ice bucket, right? How effective is that versus a cryo chamber? You know the cryo chamber where they go, and or do they do two different things? Both of them seem not enjoyable to me, but do they do the similar thing, or they're two different methods?
So they both do the same concept, okay? When you get in a cold tub, a cold tub generally goes to about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's kind of pretty cold, right, with the water and the cold. When you get into a cryo chamber, that can get down to the negative, like a negative 130 degrees, negative 155 degrees. So it's super, super cold. Now, keep in mind, when you go in a cryo chamber, you're only there for like 90 seconds, 3 minutes max. Where in the cold tub, you're there anywhere between 15, 20 minutes. So at the end of the day, it's always become a preference, whether you want to just suck it up and deal with the super cold for 90 seconds, 120 seconds, or you're willing to go ahead and do the cold tub type of thing. Every player was always kind of different. When I was there, everybody had to do one type of recovery method at the end of the day, whether it was a Normatec, whether it was the cold tub, whether it was or the cryo chamber. We left it up to them, but they had to do something. Kobe was a huge cryo chamber. I mean, he loved the cryo chamber. That was his thing. He'd rather go into the cryo chamber for the 3 minutes and be done. He loved getting that super cold. Other athletes, they've tried going in there and like, nope, within 5 seconds they're out. And they're like, I'd rather go to the cold tub. But the theory behind it is that it creates what's called a vasoconstriction, which shrinks the blood vessels and creates circulation back to the heart to kind of get regenerated or replenished, and then going back to the muscles. So then the muscles take that good blood, so to speak, take the proteins, the minerals out of it, and start repairing itself. So that's the theory behind it. So at the end of the day, it becomes a preference thing.
Yeah, but so they basically do the same thing.
You want to throw yourself in there, one of those ice buckets?
Man, you know what? We need to make that a challenge next time. Man, we make a bet.
Hey, you know what? Hey,
who lasts the longest in there?
Marco, give Money Mike some advice on how to get ready, because I think we're going to compete one-on-one on basketball or a 3-point shootout or something. Money Mike, we got to do something out on the field.
Yeah, we definitely will, man. I definitely gonna need one of those for sure. Because
my word of advice is make sure you stretch properly before, because you're more likely to pull something just trying to hit a 3-pointer there.
Oh yeah, he probably wouldn't even hit the rim. We're gonna have to go ahead and get a couple ball boys out.
So he's challenging me. All right, well,
we got the win and only.
We may have to have you come out there just in case. When I dunk on them, we get hurt. You're gonna have to give them some CPR.
Oh, okay. There it is. Marco, we're gonna have to meet you
just in case.
Yeah, right.
Let them know. But Marco, I do want to ask you before we do get going here. I want to ask you a little bit about your last season with the Lakers. And, there was a lot of injuries, a lot of things were happening. In your 12th year there with the Lakers, which was, I believe, in 2018-2019 season. Lonzo's Ball injury, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. There was a lot of players out there that just were getting hurt constantly. That was one of the Lakers' maybe bad seasons they've had. What was going on that whole year? Like, was it just the players not putting in that extra work into maybe preventing injuries, or what was it?
No, I mean, injuries are part of the game, and you're kind of get them type of thing. Some of the injuries with like LeBron had the tear in his groin that was kind of a little difficult. I think Lonzo Ball got stepped on type of thing, and he had like a little recurring type of thing. Then you also had some of the shoe issues with them at the same time. That kind of became like a little controversy type of thing. That's kind of where the shoe brand came out type of thing. Right. I know Josh Hart had a little bit of Josh Hart had, I think from what I remember, he had a little bit of a tendonitis, actually had a tendinopathy type of thing. that it got to the point that we had to decide whether we were going to do some kind of procedure on him. So we were trying to get him through the season, see if we could kind of maintain him versus just shutting him down completely and kind of be done. But then towards the end of the season, once we realized, hey, you know what, we're not going to make the playoffs, there's no point. So then that's when we started kind of shutting players down. I think that my third year with them as a head was one of the years that we had a good amount of injuries. Unfortunately, that was just part of it. My first 2 years, I think we were really good. I think we were in the top 5 as far as the least amount of injuries or missed games in the NBA type of thing. So that third year, I think it was just bad luck type of thing that was happening.
No, it happens a lot. Money Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are you ranked? Is there like a ranking amongst like the league? You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like it's kind of unfair ranking because you can't control or prevent, injuries when they're out there jumping and moving around and diving on the floor. But is there a ranking on, to say, hey, we're top 5 and least amount of injuries?
So so there's no like official like ranking. You're ranked number 1, number 2, but there is an article. I forget who comes out with, and they do it at the end of the year, and they rank based on numbers of games missed per team, and then also the other thing also based on money. So every time a player misses a game, there's money that's being lost or revenue being lost by the team type of thing. So there's a ranking type of thing. Like I said, my first 2 years, we were in the top 5 as far as least amount of games missed due to injuries. Fortunately, my third year, there was a whole different debacle type of thing. It was kind of that type of thing. But there is a little bit of there's somewhat of a ranking where they kind of specify. They go through all the teams and they rank them.
Wow, that must be crazy. But I do. We are just minutes and seconds away from ending the show. But Marco Nunez, every guest that I get on this show here, every single guest, we go through a small quiz, which is my Kobe quiz. It's a Kobe quiz. It's 8 questions, 24 seconds, plain and simple. You just got to pick either or. Are you ready, Marco?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna go from the top of my head because last week technology got in my way. This time, I'm gonna get in. All right, Marco. Question number 1: burgers or pizza?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with burgers.
All right, tequila or vodka?
I'm gonna have to. Even though I'm Mexican, I'm gonna have to go with vodka.
There it is. Hey, it's not bad because that's the same thing I say: vodka over tequila. Christmas or Halloween?
Ooh, Halloween.
There it is. And we got, of course, this is kind of easy for you: Lakers, Clippers.
Oh, Lakers.
There it is. And another one, we got, there's 2 different eras you can kind of look at. You can look at the Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol era. You can look at the Shaq and Kobe era.
Just because I was around the Kobe Pau Gasol era, I'm going to have to go with the Kobe Pau Gasol era.
There it is. And as well, we got another one here. Very interesting. Michael Myers or Jason?
Oh, Michael Myers. I'm a huge Michael Myers fan.
Huge Michael Myers fan. Nice. And the last but not least, and I'm going to go ahead and make you feel very, very good because I hope you pick the right answer. LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Oh, no. Money Mike is smiling over there. Money, where you at?
Hey, he speaks the truth, man. We can't say nothing about it.
I know. No, we can't. We can't say nothing about it because your show's over now. Marco Nunez.
If you would have said LeBron or Kobe, you would have said Kobe.
He would have. I agree with that. But Marco Nunez, man, I appreciate you for taking some of your time here to join us on Monday Night Fredo. It was a pleasure to have you guys here. And again, everyone, go ahead and follow Marco Nunez. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. I know some of the information is up on the screen right there, but as well, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Fredo Cervantes. He's up on my page right there. Check him out on my story. And again, Marco Nunez, I appreciate you for taking your time here with us today.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No
All right, Marco.
And everyone, check out Money Mike every single Sunday, 8:30 Eastern on the Profanity Nation podcast. And we'll see you guys next Monday here from the Infinity Studios. See you soon.